This is Lance Archer, the American Psycho.
This is Brian Thompson, the voice of HWR Wrestling.
This is the original hardcore wrestling and freak of ECW, the one and only Axel Rodney. Yes, this is the Shockmaster, and you're listening to Hardcore Wrestling Radio.
Monday, JR,
We Only Wish.
Michael Cole came out with the ultimate comment, and Batista has actually put himself in the Royal Rumble. No shit, he's coming back Royal Rumble night, you dickhead.
Andy, 20th ain't the Rumble night. The 20th is a Raw.
Oh my God, what the hell's he going to do on Raw apart from come back and say, I'm going in the Royal Rumble, I'm going to win and fight Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
And then scream he quits.
Because that's all he's going to do. He's going to fight Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, so all them people that think Brock Lesnar's going to fight The Undertaker are going to be well pissed. I tell you who's going to be fighting. I guarantee it will happen this year. I tell you who's going to be fighting The Undertaker at Royal Rumble. Because he's the only person left in TNA. Fucking Sting.
No, not going to happen.
No.
Let's be realistic.
I am being realistic.
Sorry.
Sting will fucking leave just before the Royal, just before the end of what? WrestleMania is April, so he'll leave end of Feb, early March, if he isn't already in talks with Vince now.
Well, we've already heard that, and so already this is a little bit of our pre-show. So we are a bit recording at the moment, and I'm sorry, I got to disagree with you, Andy.
People keep saying he's not going to come in the WWE. He will.
He's not. Why?
Because he won't get in the Hall of Fame unless he actually goes in. And you're not telling me there isn't a wrestler in the world that does not want to get his face in the Hall of Fame. I'm sorry, I know the story that he hates Vince with a passion, but we're talking professionalism now. That has to go by the wayside. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And if he doesn't get in the Hall of Fame by being a stubborn arse, the man's a dick. And I'll categorically say that on record. The man is a complete dick.
Not necessarily a complete dick. He's a man who's, I mean...
It's none of this standing up for his morals or standing up for his rights. We are the fans, are the people that supposedly put them bums in the Hall of Fame. They are the people who we are happy to be our heroes forever and a day till the end of time in the history books. And he's basically turning his back on that, because that's what he is doing. That's not showing pride. That's being a dickhead. That's turning his back on people that pay his wage. If somebody said to me, you can be in the Paranormal Hall of Fame, but you've got to join a paranormal team, if I wanted that so much, I would go and join that team to get myself in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, so so you would have to go quit your team tomorrow, and then you'd have to go join some, American television show that you have no beliefs in, that you're like, this is a crock of shit, but I'll join it just to get in.
Too right. Because everybody wants their 5 minutes of fame, and I'm sorry.
You have to kiss ass. You have to kiss ass to get what you want. That's why.
Precisely.
Especially in wrestling business.
When that guy finally retires, where's he going to get his income from? We've all known television celebrities. Look at the Hardys, for example. We've all known television celebrities that have earned $70 million and they fucking broke because they spend it like an idiot. He's probably earning $3 million a year, Sting. He's going to miss that income when it's not coming in anymore. And if he gets in the Hall of Fame, he's guaranteed a wage.
$70 million.
Yeah, but he's guaranteed a wage. When he leaves TNA, if he doesn't join the Hall of Fame, where's he going to get his wage from?
KFC.
Probably 2 or 3 years he'll go on the Independents and charge £20 for have his picture taken. He ain't going to live long on that sort of money. Or should I say $20? That ain't going to feed his wife and kids. When he probably blows about 10 grand a week. The lifestyle he leads with the amount of money he's got, he ain't going to survive without that Hall of Fame.
Well, you know,
I mean, it's not an hidden thing. when you go in the Hall of Fame, you're guaranteed a wage for the rest of your life. It's not just wear a nice, pretty ring. You are guaranteed a wage.
Well, Andy, you pretty much brought us right into the opening segment of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, and we want to, welcome everyone here. And you know what? Since you went on a first rant, Will, I'm going to bring you on to the next rant. I believe you want to rant on something.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, Rick. Yes.
Over to you, Will.
Woo! And yes, ladies and gentlemen, they know why. Yes, for those who are fans of the National Football League, we noticed that Ric Flair visited my San Francisco 49ers at their training facility before they went to Green Bay. Now, Andy stated this about a month ago, or a couple months ago, and I'm going to take a page from Andy's book, if you don't mind.
Nope.
Flair, I'm sorry if things went up the shit for you. I'm sorry. I don't think, in my mind, the Niners really needed that little, how can I put this? Not a lecture, but more, we didn't need your speech. We didn't need to hear what you had to say. We beat the Packers already, yeah, but come on. I mean, I don't think this could be an issue of finances. That could be what Flair's been struggling on for these last couple years. I mean, it was good to see him on Old School Raw, okay, but I just don't think you go into a training facility and say what you said. I mean, you're from Charlotte, North Carolina, and you say the Panthers are not going to be the team that the Niners will beat. Man, I need a drink. But just to end this rant very slowly so we can get on with the show, we, fans of the Niners, don't need wrestling speeches. This is all about gridiron tackling situations we put on the field. Is not a wrestling ring. And I mean, if I'm wrong on this, you fans can comment this on our Facebook page or leave a comment when we have this posted up. Share your feelings. That's fine. Don't care if you like me. Who cares? But the Niners are better off without Ric Flair's speech. I just feel that Jim Harbaugh, he's the only one that could teach the Niners something. We don't need outside help. Not disrespecting Flair of the matter of how he's been in the business, but I just don't think we need him there. We have our own theories. We have our own ways of getting ourselves pumped up and going onto the field and doing what we do best. But, I mean, good to see you on Raw. I just don't need you being a hypocrite. You know, now Carolina Panther fans, I'm just looking at really quick here, folks, is saying that Ric Flair may have burned a bridge. Ooh, how so? Well, we'll keep you detailed for that one. Right? And that was MVP's rant on my team. Now, Rick, I guess I'll pass it to you. I'm done.
Thank you, Will. And, of course, that was our opening rant from the MVP, known as Will. And this is Hardcore Wrestling Radio. And, of course, I am the Shining Star, Rick Star. You've heard from the son of a bitch, Andy, as we opened up the show. And, of course, we also have the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, and just for Bay. Whoa!
Shut up.
And this week we would also love to welcome back the one and only Jaque Schitt.
And Mike's not on yet. Yeah, here it is. Hi. Thank you.
Now people are wondering, who is Jaque Schitt? Well, she is really not, she doesn't know wrestling, but she doesn't know jack shit about wrestling. So we're going to fill her in on wrestling each and every week. So that'll be coming up just a little bit. But right now, we're going to talk about Jake the Snake Roberts, as he was on Old School on Monday. And Andy, you weren't too happy about seeing him. You said that it kind of just really screwed up his surprise for the Royal Rumble.
Uh-oh.
Now, they're still saying there's no word of whether he'll even appear in the Royal Rumble, but it's still possible that he's inducted into the Hall of Fame. So what's your thoughts about this, Andy?
I thought he was already inducted. That's how.
No, he has not been inducted yet.
Why not? And Yeah, if you're a wrestling fan like me, and from the era of Jake the Snake Roberts, we've all seen what he's been going through the last 10, 15 years and seen the steady decline of the guy, going right down to basically a down and out, hobo, call him what you will. And then suddenly he appears on television looking 20 years younger, looking like he could go with people like John Cena and CM Punk, and I think they should have kept that surprise for WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, or possibly even WrestleMania, even if it was just a run-in at WrestleMania. But to do it on a glorified clusterfuck show that they put on Monday night, it just spoiled it for me, I'm sorry. It was the best thing on the show, but it spoiled the shock value, because I now know what the guy looks like. I now know he's improved himself. I know now he's come out of rehab. Spoilt the illusion for me.
Well, obviously, I think anybody who has half a brain know that he's spoiled. Has been improving himself. Will, let me ask you: do you think that maybe WWE said, "Okay, let's see if how you can handle the limelight a little bit. Let's see if let's this be testing the water, so to speak." You think that's why they did this on Old School Raw?
You know what? I thought this was a little bit too soon to reveal that for him to return. Sorry about my Wyatt family text, folks. And yeah, I mean, this is way too early. I mean, WWE has not very candid ways of how to bring back returning stars or legends like that. It's been obvious for so many years, but I mean, what has Batista really done other than cry from a wheelchair saying, "I quit"? Because I don't know nothing else. I mean, he's done MMA for a while, and now, he comes back almost 2 years later, and his vignettes, like Andy mentioned, WWE pretty much wants, I guess, top contention back, but I'm kind of not buying into Batista really doing much when he returns. I mean, look at Brock Lesnar. Let's look back at other superstars from the past. I mean, okay, so you got your cheap Pablo Batista coming back. Good for you, but I don't know. I mean, I'll watch the Royal Rumble. I'll see with my own eyes and going forward, but I just don't think Batista is going to have any good buy rates once he shows up. Watch the IWC implode with many hateful comments as this goes forward.
And we'd like to welcome James from the Who Dat Temple. James, welcome to the show.
I just finished watching Main Event. Yes, I watched Main Event just for this last one.
It's all right. We many of us like to call it the lame event, but it's to each their own. Right now we're talking about Jake the Snake Roberts, and some people here think that someone here dropped up, but we all think that maybe Jake Roberts being returned to WWE might have kind of killed the Royal Rumble shock value. What do you think?
I mean, it kind of. The thing is, I don't think, because we don't even know if he is coming back, if he's coming for Royal Rumble or not. It was a really nice surprise to see him on Raw, and we lost MVP just saying. Yep.
We will get him back momentarily.
But with Jake the Snake, it was like it's a really nice surprise. Really.
Okay, Lance, what was your thoughts about Jake the Snake Roberts? Do you think it kind of killed it, or do you think that the WWE was testing the waters? What's your thoughts?
Well, the reason I think they kind of took a little bit of the edge off, because I usually watch Jake the Snake's podcast, and well, the last time he came back or made a surprise entrant that I can remember was 96, and Vince got pissed because Jake got the biggest pop out of all of his current stars back in 96. So I figure he wanted to take a little bit of the edge off of that, so if he wanted to.
Let's move along, and speaking of somebody who's coming in, we talked about there's a current diva that just got released, and James, you actually reported about Kaitlyn being released from the WWE. Would you like to talk about that?
She was not released. That's everybody's misconception. She was actually she asked for the release from WWE. She said that on Twitter, if I remember this story that she asked WWE for the release and they granted to her. And so right here she said, "Today is bittersweet. I officially left the WWE on my own terms. Much luck to WWE and to all you guys." Her fiance later on announced that she was going to do an announcement for a future project, but she will announce it on her own time. And really, I kind of don't like the fact that she's now gone, because really her and AJ, that feud that they had last year, was actually a good feud. But WWE just don't know how to use her correctly. That's also the main reason I feel like that might have been an effect of why.
Yeah, the reason I won't give them a plug, but their name starts with T and it's 3 letters. I won't give them any more plugs than that, but they posted on their site that she'd left because they asked her to drop weight.
That's not the story I heard. They said that another site I have read, they said that they had storylines for her, but it didn't go through with the storylines, and she just got over it, basically.
Because I just think they're getting rid of all the decent divas out the diva market. Yeah. Thanks to Triple H.
Exactly, and she. Even though she didn't do well when she first started, she wasn't doing well. She was still in training technically, but she improved in the ring overall. And you saw her feud with AJ, and she was better. I disagree with, but it's her decision. She wanted to leave. She wanted to leave.
Lance, what would you have to say about Kaitlyn's departure from the WWE?
Hate seeing her go. Hopefully someday we'll see her back.
All right. Will, is Will back? Has he gotten back with us?
Yeah, I'm on my phone, Rick. Sorry about that. Laptop went down.
Yeah, no worries. Now, with Kaitlyn's departure, I'm going to ask you, what would you think about the possibility of Kaitlyn maybe even heading to TNA or to maybe even the indie scenes? What's your thoughts on that?
My personal thing is I think she's going to go back to bodybuilding.
Wow, very bold. And I don't know. To be very honest, I don't see her in TNA right now because I don't think she'll live up best to her abilities. And if she were to be the new next best thing, I mean, you really think Gail Kim would put Kaitlyn over? I honestly don't think so, gentlemen. I mean, look what's going on right now. All that is just, it's very ruptured at the moment. Very, very ruptured. I mean, she may go back to bodybuilding, like Andy said. I mean, we did see a couple of bodybuilding pictures, but going forward, I don't see her TNA bound. I just don't see it. The way she is, they'll probably water her down. I just don't see it.
I have to agree with what MVP said. She's not going to go. I don't think she's going to go to the indies. I mean, she says she is going to accept bookings, but I don't see her going to the indies nor in TNA. I think she's going to go back to bodybuilding, and her fiance, who is also a bodybuilder, is doing he's owner of supplement stuff. So it might be collaboration with those two.
Yeah, I think one of the main reasons why she won't go back to TNA, unless I've got this wrong, I'm sure one of the reasons why Gail Kim left WWE is because she didn't get on with Kaitlyn.
That I did not know.
They had some serious feuds backstage. They had to keep them apart in separate locker rooms. So I don't see her going back to TNA while Gail Kim's there. But to be perfectly, my opinion of Gail Kim, she couldn't sell a program. Yeah. Very good in-ring ability, but she couldn't sell a program. She certainly doesn't put bums in seats.
Well, let's move on to someone, to Kurt Angle. There's rumors that Kurt Angle's possibly heading back to the WWE. Now, we've seen a lot of TNA members leaving, TNA and heading over to the WWE, and now Kurt Angle seems to be yet another person.
To be honest, where else can he go? I mean, if you've seen the recent-ish Kurt Angle interview, he's got no grudges with the WWE. That's water under the bridge, and he'd go back anytime they asked him to go back. he ain't again on the indie circuit, so where else is there for him to go? So I think it's carved in stone he's coming back, even if it's just for the Hall of Fame. He's definitely getting back. It's not rumours, it's a definite, it's carved in stone.
Yeah, this was a Jim Ross blog, and he even said this. He goes, because I was asked on Twitter, I'd love to see Kurt Angle back in his career. WWE with a selected number of high-level matches and a Hall of Fame induction. That could be another high-level attraction at WrestleMania 31. Now, keep in mind, Kurt Angle still is locked in the WWE. TNA for at least another year. So, who's to say after he's out of his contract with TNA, he doesn't leave, he doesn't resign. I mean, he decides to head back to the WWE.
He wants his Hall of Fame ring. He even says that on his interview that's on YouTube. That's the only thing he's got. That's the only thing he's got to aim for. In his words, he's done everything in his career bar wear that gold ring.
And I think now, Lance, you think now with TNA being in such dire straits, because for so long he was loyal to Dixie Carter, do you think that loyalty is now starting to fray?
Yes. I mean, especially once them checks start bouncing, which they might have started, so he might be starting to test the waters.
And, James, some of your thoughts.
I'm kind of flip-flopping, because, every time, Kurt Angle talks about WWE, he has, a flip-flop angle. It's like, oh, I hate WWE, but it's like, oh, I like WWE the next time. I don't know. I can't make a good judgment about this,
All right. And Will, finally over to you. Some thoughts about maybe Kurt Angle leaving TNA and heading to WWE and the possibilities.
I think this would be a better move for him because all his better matches were in WWE. I hate to be very blunt about this. I mean, he did have a couple good matches in TNA, for the record, but I think this is the best move going for him. I mean, he can finally acknowledge his real fans and, leave without having an issue on both sides. But I don't know. TNA will probably have some type of way to keep him there, but in my own opinion, back to WWE, you get the better, proper way to leave wrestling is with WWE, in my opinion.
Has anyone noticed a pattern, though? We've got Batista, we've got Brock Lesnar, there's a possibility we're going to have Kurt Angle. What the hell are we doing going back to the 90s? We're going to have old school wrestling every week.
Well, it sounds like that. It sounds like old school. Not even that, but it sounds like the WWE is trying to get all the nostalgic because, let's face it, they do live for that nostalgia. I mean, I even read that they're going to live for the WrestleMania 30, and also the 31 is really the 30th anniversary of WrestleMania. It's not the 31. So.
Has anyone noticed as well that the big cock-up they've made, they're trying to get the scenery look right, they're trying to get the arena, the ring ropes, the commentators table. They're making everything look like 1980 with one major problem.
What's that?
Can you remember? And if you can't, look back on your early wrestling videos. All the cameramen wore blue overalls with the WWF symbol on the back. The cameramen are just wearing black normal clothes. It's all right putting the commentators in their 1980s ring attire, but the cameramen aren't wearing 2014 clothes, so it makes it look stupid.
I never looked at it that way.
It's an oversight. If you look at any of the prime example, if you can remember the cage match, which I think it was Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, where Shawn Michaels beats up the cameraman. He's got blue overalls on with WWF on his back, and that's the clothing that they wore. They're trying to go for that old look, but they've neglected the camera guys. They are a part of the show. You see them round ringside. So I just don't know why they haven't done that. They haven't changed that at all. It just, the old thing just doesn't. When you talk to me, when you're talking old school, you should make it look grungy and make it look like it did originally. Not put a dirty, horrible blue canvas on your ring, red, white, and blue ropes, a grotty Raw sign, but make everything else look modern high tech, because it doesn't work. It's like going to a rave and Motorhead walk on the stage. Doesn't work.
That'd be hilarious.
Well, I think they're trying to like be somewhat nostalgic, but change with the times, and I think they are trying. I mean, I think if the normal fan wouldn't notice, but like I said, you, Andy, do notice the small little things, and it's those little things that probably do stand out.
I was impressed. I must admit, I was impressed that this time they didn't do it last time, but this time they got the ring announcer stable correct, with the old monitors on the top and all the equipment on the top, no covers. That impressed me. But to see a cameraman walking around with a Nike T-shirt on and his headset on and a black T-shirt and a pair of jeans just killed the effect to me. I'm sorry, I don't know, it's like seeing Superman stand inside a Santa Claus. It just don't happen.
Well, let's move on to our next topic, and apparently there's talk that when the WWE Network comes out, they will be having footage of Chris Benoit. What do you think about that one, Andy? Now,
I agree, but I've got a punchline. If you continue reading, if you continue reading what it says on the sheet, let me have my punchline.
Okay, I'll let you read the news bit, so why don't you read the news bit and then you can have your punchline.
According to Wrestling Observer, WWE has sent out a memo that states Chris Benoit footage will be shown on its network broadcasts. When the Benoit footage will be aired on up-and-coming WWE Network, the company will show an advisory just before the show, and that advisory will be, don't kill your wife and kids. What kind of advisory are they going to put on? We're going to put a wrestler on now who's murdered his wife and children. Don't try this at home. What kind of advice are they going to put? Don't watch this man because he's nasty. I've never heard anything so shit in all my life. Either give the guy the credit that he deserves and forget what he's done, or don't put him on at all.
These people
I'm
are
happy.
professionals. Do not try this at home.
Yeah, I'm happy either way. If they don't show Chris Benoit, we all know what he's done, we all know what he's famous for, and we all know he should be in the Hall of Fame. If they choose to not have anything to do with the guy because he was supposedly accused of murdering his wife and child, to which they've got no proof, then so be it. Don't put him in the Hall of Fame. Don't show him on TV. I can go with both of them, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, by the way, you do know what Jaque Schitt's last name is, right?
Benoit.
Correct.
Maybe she knows a bit more about the Chris Benoit story than we do then. Maybe she's got inside information.
I actually don't. I've been asked several times, am I related to him, and I'm not, that I know of.
I'll still swear black's white that guy is innocent. It's never been proven in any court of law that he killed his wife and children. 3 people were found murdered in the house. How do we know his wife didn't kill him and the child and then kill herself? How do you know the child didn't kill both of them, then kill himself?
Andy, Daniel with special needs.
What? He was like 6 or 7 with special needs.
I don't want to be disrespectful to people with special needs, but does anyone know the BTK killer? World famous BTK? He was special needs. Didn't stop him killing people. I know he was a lot older than 7, but just because he's got
Andy,
special...
you're really raking in the likes on this show.
Yeah.
You know. For those of you who have any personal comments they would like to direct towards Andy, feel free to post on your comments on the comment section below.
Yeah, post it to Andy.
To Andy.
Yahoo.co. No, we won't. They'll find my email address anyway. Andy doesn't give a shit at yahoo.co.uk.
And that's him, ladies and gentlemen. He is the son of a bitch, you know. But you know what? Let's move on. You know, Lance, what do you think about WWE finally putting Chris Benoit on WWE television, or the WWE network for that matter?
It's surprising because for the longest time it was like, oh, he doesn't friggin' exist. But the only time I think they should do the whole advisory thing is one, if it's now he did have a few pretty brutal matches, maybe one or two of those advisory in front of that, or if they decide to lose their minds and do a full life piece on him, definitely put their thing in front of that, because you don't really want kids seeing that, you know.
Does anyone know the name? Do you know? Just changing the subject, sorry to cut in, Lance, but does anyone know the name of a company that make weightlifting equipment? Do you know these multi-gyms that you can buy for your home? Does anyone know the name of one?
Both.
I'm not sure of that one offhand, no.
Not on the top of my head, Rick.
I think they should be looking more into the people that manufactured Chris Benoit's weightlifting equipment, because from what I read, he'd got a weightlifting cable round his neck, and that's what hung him. I think it's faulty fucking weightlifting equipment.
You know, to be honest with you, Andy, you know as well as I do, at the end of the day, the world is going to blame Chris Benoit, and that's just the way it's ended, and that's the way it's settled.
Yeah.
You know. Will, real quick, what are your thoughts about Chris Benoit coming on to television, WWE television? He's speechless.
He's gone kill his wife and kids.
Oh!
All right, James, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm in there.
Okay, your thoughts, please.
It is surprising, but at least we can see that they will have Chris Benoit in here, because there is like events like WrestleMania 20, the Royal Rumble 2004. Like, you have to have Chris Benoit, because you may like, yeah. It just don't feel right to not have Chris Benoit on these like events stuff.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the next subject. Well, I guess Mark Henry's gotten injured again. I'm telling you guys, he should have gotten the injury award, because this guy gets injured more than Sin Cara.
Hey, another thing about Sin Cara. Oh, I'm sorry to keep chipping in, but has anyone noticed that Sin Cara's had a nice new tattoo all over his shoulder, so that's knackered all the other people that play the Sin Cara person?
Well, it is Hunico. We know that the new Sin Cara is...
Because they had, was it 2 or 3 people that were playing Sin Cara, and they all look pretty identical, but I noticed on Monday, he came in the ring and he's got a nice big over-the-shoulder tattoo. I thought,
yes.
Tosspot.
No, it's actually because the new Sin Cara is played as Hunico, and Hunico, which was as the fake Sin Cara. Remember when there was a fake Sin Cara versus the real Sin Cara?
Yeah.
The fake Sin Cara was Hunico, and that's who it's been still to this day.
Well, the only thing is, if the WWE is still going to... Because I think a lot of the time when they kept having... First it was one person, then it was somebody else, then it was one person, then it was somebody else, because we all know that whoever plays Sin Cara is injury-prone, and they could put a different person in, just like they did with the masked guy in TNA, who I can't remember his name. Suicide. They had different people wearing the mask, and they could get away with it. They can't do it now, because he's now got this stupid, ridiculous tattoo on his shoulder.
Well, they could freeze draw the Rock.
Thanks.
Yeah, people can say, well, they can draw a fake tattoo on another wrestler, but it's a lot of work for a makeup artist. To me, it tells me 2 things. He's either that confident that he thinks he's got the role completely, and there's nothing the WWE can do about it, or he shot himself in the arse, because WWE probably think he's the worst Sin Cara we've ever had. We'll just get rid of him because he now knackers the persona that Sin Cara's never had tattoos.
Well, apparently, Mark Henry is injured again. This could be I think here's it means to be more of a kayfabe injury, as during the second consecutive week, facing Brock Lesnar, was facing Mark Henry, and he broke his arm during the Kimura lock, however you pronounce it.
Yes.
Kimura lock, yes. And, so he beat him out during old school Raw, so I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm like, really? So, basically, Mark Henry is basically Brock Lesnar's bitch. That sound about right, guys?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Self-confessed.
That's a big bitch.
Self-confessed #1 challenger. I like how they keep saying that. Self-confessed. So anyone can just walk in the WWE and say, I'm gonna challenge the world champion because I say so.
Yeah.
No. You have to be a part-timer to do that.
Yeah, exactly. You
and
can't
then
be a
they
full-time
made such a big deal. What does Heyman call him? Is it's not colleague, client. My client here. Everything he does, he's so fantastic at. UFC, 3 words. Fought 3, lost all of them.
Yeah. Is Will back?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Oh, Will, what are your thoughts about Mark Henry getting quote-unquote injured by Brock Lesnar for the second time?
I don't remember the first time. I actually don't know what happened the first time around, but you know what? If this is a way for him to get back into the so-called main picture, not like it's going to be for any titles or nothing like that, then yeah. But to rough Mark Henry up just to get molled by the Big Show, that only tells you something, but I don't know. I hope Mark Henry recovers well. I mean, that Kimura lock seems pretty damn evil. But at the same time, it's like, okay, so you break Mark Henry's hand only to get your ass whooped by Show. I mean, that tells you something. So, we'll have more to come.
Since Brock Lesnar's coming back, though, doesn't it sort of make it pretty obvious that John Cena's going to beat Randy Orton? I'd like to think that Randy Orton was going to beat John Cena, but can you really see Randy Orton fighting Brock Lesnar? Because I can't.
Well, you know what? This actually does bring up an interesting question I've been wanting to talk about. A lot of people are thinking about what's going to happen at the Royal Rumble, which is coming up. What's it? This Sunday? Is it?
No, it's going to be on the 26th of January.
The 26th. But now everybody's trying to think of who's going to win the Rumble, who's going to be the #1 contender at the Rumble, and to be honest with you, I don't see it to be like, I don't think it's going to be Batista. I don't think it's going to be like Cena. I don't think it's going to be Daniel Bryan. I think all these guys that's been coming out of the woodwork, I think all these guys now have to go through the Elimination Chamber. And I think we're going to see somebody else win this Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but do you honestly think Batista's going to come back to a big, massive pop that the WWE think he's going to get and lose his first match? Because that's like bringing Hulk Hogan back and having him lose against Hornswoggle. It's just never going to happen.
Yeah, he's going to come in. But he's coming back the 20th, not the 26th. So he's going to come back for Raw. He's going to have a match on Raw. But is he going to win the Royal Rumble? If he's not winning the Rumble, if you think he's going to win the Rumble, forget it. It's not happening.
I think it's almost carved in stone. We'll see what happens, but I think it's almost carved in stone because people are going to say, well, what the hell's he come back for? And why has he put himself in the Royal Rumble? Because he's certainly not having a match on the 20th.
Well,
he's only coming to talk on the 20th, trust me.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm sorry. There is 30 other guys in there, and I'm sorry. Despite his pop, I don't think he's going to get it. It's one thing to pin somebody. It's another thing to throw 30 other guys out over the top rope.
He'll probably come down number 29.
Even if he was number 29, how many times? Look at the number. Again, if you look at the numbers, how many times did he come down as number 30? How many times is number 31 in the run the Rumble? Not many people have.
I think if he comes down early, he'll win. Just to give him that, my God, Batista's back and he's just thrown 16 people over the top rope. Just like they did with Kane when Kane's character was going down the toilet and then they had him. I think he still holds the record. How many people he got, or how many people he eliminated, and then at the last minute somebody did the dirty on him and threw him out. And I think everybody that watched that show that night was gutted because Kane deserved to win that.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, right now I see, for an elimination chamber for like the title, which I said the title will be decided who will be the world champion, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, whatever it is, because they still haven't recreated the title. I see Cena going in there, Bryan going in there, Batista going in there, Orton going in there, Batista going in, and then, of course, CM Punk going in there. You see these 6 guys going in there, one's going to come out, which means all these guys, none of these men are going to win the Rumble. Not one of these men will win the Rumble.
I don't see if Batista doesn't win the Rumble, who the hell are going to have to win it, because nobody at the moment deserves to win anything, because the show that they're putting out is shit and there's no new stars.
Well, they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to, let's face it, there's probably maybe one of the members of the Shield.
I think after Roddy Piper's comment on the Shield, I think that was the kiss of death for the Shield. Notice Michael Cole's comment right at the end of Raw. Oh my God, is Rollins going to be one of these people now that thinks he is better than fucking this, that, and the... And you think, yes, he is. We know that.
Yeah, and I think that's what the Rumble is happening. I think the Rumble might split these guys up. That's a strong possibility.
Dean Ambrose, I'm sorry, that's the first time I've seen Dean Ambrose in anger on the microphone. God, that guy's got microphone skills of Hornswoggle. That guy was so unconfident on the microphone, it was embarrassing to watch. Can you remember the old soap operas that people used to take the piss out of, where they used to write the script on their own where they couldn't remember the lines? It was that bad, he was almost having to read it off a cue card.
Yeah.
He was dire. If anyone says that guy's got top-class ability in wrestling, he might have in the ring. When it comes to mic skills, that guy sucks worse than anyone I've seen.
Well, let's shift gears a little bit. Lance, I know you always like to bring something to the table. What do you got?
Well, for one, it has been confirmed the announcement was for the freaking network.
Okay.
And 2, it's time for the controversies and scandals. Tonight is the Wendy Richter Fabulous Moolah Screwjob. Now,
all right.
Back in 1985, after losing and regaining the title from Leilani Kai at the inaugural WrestleMania, Richter was scheduled to defend her title at Madison Square Garden on November 25th. A mystery woman named Spider Lady against Spider Lady. During the match, Spider Lady broke the prescriptive events, pinned Richter's shoulders to the mat, and the referee who was in on the plan swiftly delivered the 3 count. It was then learned that it was the Fabulous Moolah in disguise. Basically, Richter was concocted by WWE Chairman Vince McMahon, and basically, Vince wanted to get the belt off her, and then Fabulous Moolah and Leilani Kai never spoke again. You guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I've seen it on YouTube, and if you watch it on YouTube, you can see it's one of them incidents again, like the Montreal Screwjob. You can see that she's pissed. She looks straight at the referee as much as to say, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, it was one of those. Yeah, this was not like in the script. She was naturally pissed. This wasn't like a outside of kayfabe pissed off. She was really upset. Whether she had, you gotta wonder whether she knew that was coming or not, or
I sometimes wonder what goes on in like people like Vince McMahon's head. Why he feels he has to screw people over to get what he wants. He's the boss. He should say to him, right, you're losing the title tonight, but why tell someone that they're going to win, but screw them over? To me, that's just childish. It's childish
because
behavior.
he can.
Well, but the thing though is why? The question is always why. What's the purpose of screwing that person over? What was the purpose?
Moolah, in my opinion, I've seen Moolah's old videos and stuff, and that woman has never been eye candy. That woman couldn't be eye candy if she was any woman on the planet. Even a blind man would turn his cock up at that woman. But I don't know. It seems as though we gave it to somebody that looked better, because she obviously didn't. I mean, to me, she is like Ric Flair is today. She's looked the same age when she was 15. If you look at her early footage and look at her today, she's the same age. Well, Ric Flair when he was 20 looks exactly the same now.
Mae Young, Fabulous Moolah looks quite different today than she did back at WrestleMania.
Yeah, because she's got no skin on her now because she's in the ground.
Exactly.
But when she was last on TV, she looked the same when she started wrestling, and Ric Flair's the same. Ric Flair doesn't look any different than day one.
Some more wrinkles.
I just don't know why. When we talked about Ric Flair coming, I don't know why people go mental when Ric Flair comes in the ring, because that guy has got mental issues. That guy should not be let out of a straitjacket. Can someone please explain to me by throwing your jacket on the floor and dropping the elbow on it? What's all that about when he was doing it with The Miz a couple of weeks ago? Drop the elbow on your coat.
He's trying to hurt the coat. He's throwing a beating on the coat.
I'd love go with a bear trap inside my jacket and say, drop the elbow on that fucker.
Woo, 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 this hurts.
Here's one person I will be happy when he dies.
Wow.
Ooh, that was controversial.
And you're always controversial.
He'll probably bleed in his coffin. We'll bleed him in the coffin. Yeah, bled for a while. A bit like his bandit camps. If they cut his forehead, only steam would come out.
I tell you, when is Andy never controversial?
When he's asleep.
All right, guys, we're going to move things along, and we now have a new segment we're going to do. It's called You Don't Know Jack Shit About Wrestling. And here we're going to try to, Jack Shit would like to know a little bit about wrestling, so of course this is where she's going to ask us some questions about wrestling, because she really knows nothing about wrestling. So, Jack, we're going to have you ask us some questions. Over to you.
All right, there's a word that you've used a couple of times tonight that I've picked up on, kayfabe. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Kayfabe is the name of the canvas that goes over the ring in the WWE. That's a kayfabe.
Pay no mind to that man.
Pay no attention to him.
Why do I think that's not the truth? Just after listening to your comments tonight, Andy, that's, I don't know.
Kayfabe, I'll let the other guys give their answer, but to me a kayfabe is something that looks like it's not supposed to happen, but it's scripted. Is probably the easiest way of putting it. It's they try and make it look like probably it's a legitimate accident, but it's scripted. For argument's sake, we've just been talking about this guy that supposedly bust his elbow and he's injured and he's going to be out for 6 weeks. The truth is he's probably going on holiday with his wife and kids to Disneyland, Florida, so they'd give him a vacation by giving him a non-legitimate injury. That's a kayfabe scenario. It's a fake but supposed to look real. I don't know what if the other guys want to add what they would confirm or say kayfabe is.
That sounds like a perfect description for me, guys. I wouldn't know if you would want to concur or if you want to add some more to it.
No, you're right. It's basically just anything that it's supposed to look real, but it's not actually. It's scripted by WWE. It looks like, oh, this guy got a like Mark Henry. He got a injury on his elbow. You know he's not have an injury. They just put him just to have Brock Lesnar look like he can break anybody's bones, basically.
Basically, yeah.
All right.
Jack's question number 2.
Yep.
Okay. Now, what is the shoot? It sounds like something you would do like in the bathroom, so I don't know. What's a shoot?
Oh, joy, really.
Well, since two guys that are really good at shooting on this show, Bay, Andy.
A shoot is probably the best way to describe a shoot is when somebody does something for real and it's not scripted and it's off the page, so to speak. Like somebody might come in the ring and drop their trousers and hand in their notice. That can be classed as a shoot. Or when a wrestler's talking out of character on an interview as himself, not as his character, that's called a shoot because he's talking about himself, not his character. That's another way of putting. But shoots are normally something that they do that you just know that's not scripted, and you can tell by people's reactions when they do them. It's like, oh my God, he shouldn't have done that. And then you normally read on the internet a couple of days later that he's been suspended for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, basically what's not on the sheet. Like basically that thing with John Cena when they had the championship ascension. That whole thing with Daniel Bryan, that wasn't on the script. He just made it to like, okay, I'm gonna talk about this, and this, basically.
Another good example of it is the CM Punk pipe bomb, where he just went off on everybody.
That's still,
broke his mind.
I'm still on the shelf about that, whether that was partly scripted and partly from the heart. I'm still.
Well, they told him to go out there and shoot.
Yeah, because some of the things he actually said, they've gone off air for less. Sorry, well, but they just kept it running.
An easy explanation of it is breaking kayfabe.
Exactly. Well, like, we don't know if CM Punk was a legitimate shoot. We don't know AJ's was a legitimate shoot. Paul Heyman, I think Paul Heyman's one in 2001 was a legitimate shoot.
I think out of all the various different people when they've supposedly gone out of character and done something they hadn't, I still think the best one ever, and I don't think there's a wrestling fan whose jaw didn't drop, is when Lance just said CM Punk dropped that pipe bomb when he came out and insulted every single person in the locker room on live television. That got more people talking on the internet than I've ever seen. Whether it was scripted or not, whoever scripted it wants a pat on the back.
You know what I still think was a really good shoot, and a lot of people may say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about? The Vince Russo leaving WCW shoot. I don't know if a lot of people would disagree or not, but that's how I felt.
Yeah.
As I say, mine was shocking was when as I said, Paul Heyman on Vince McMahon during the invasion.
And the final question.
Okay, sorry. I realized before I had my microphone like halfway across the room. What is a baby face besides? Yeah, okay.
A baby face is a wrestler who is supposedly liked by all the fans, and a heel is the opposite, someone who everybody loves to hate.
Yeah. Layman's terms, babyface, good guy, heel, bad guy.
Okay, and how did those terms come about? Because I don't understand how they got to be that way. Like, why are they called that?
I'm not sure. It's a shame somebody like Josie isn't here. How they got their name?
Yeah,
babyface and heel.
It would be.
I know the reason why they use the terms like kayfabe and shoot. It's like wrestler. It's more open now with it being on the internet. But wrestlers have always had their own language where they could sit in a bar, like you've said, you haven't got a clue what kayfabe meant, so they could be talking whilst you were sitting with them and say, don't forget we've got to do that kayfabe tomorrow where you fall off the scaffolding and break your wrist. And you wouldn't have a clue what they're talking about, but they're talking about a scenario that they're doing on television tomorrow. Same with the shoot. Don't forget you got to do that shoot tomorrow. You don't know that he's going to be bad-mouthing probably you on the television. But these words have come about. I don't think they actually mean anything apart from it's... If you weren't in the circle probably 10 years ago, you wouldn't have known what a kayfabe, a shoot, a babyface, a heel, and all the other multitude of special words they've got.
Yeah.
It's like the magician's secret code. It's just been told to the world now on the internet. It's I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, up until probably 10 years ago, when I used to see wrestlers bleed in the ring, I thought they'd actually got injured. Didn't realise they cut themselves with a razor blade, which they secretly hide in their wristband. So the magic secrets are out, and we all know them now, unfortunately. But where the terminology came from, I wouldn't know. But if we can bring that comment again when somebody like Joseph's on, who's in the wrestling industry, could probably give us a better idea, because I don't know myself.
I know
You guys?
kayfabe comes from Carney speak. That's all I know where that phrase comes from.
Yeah, it's really hard to determine where the term heel and face come from. I mean, you just don't. You hear a lot, but you just don't look into the history. Like, oh, where did this come from? You know.
Do you know, one question I would really like to ask somebody that's knowledgeable on wrestling, where it was actually decided that this is wrestling, because when you watch wrestling on the Olympics, it certainly isn't the same as what the WWE does, but they're both called wrestling. So at what time did they decide that this was going to be wrestling? Because wrestling is a legitimate sport, just like soccer and football, baseball. But you don't get two types of baseball. You don't get two types of soccer. You don't get two types of any. I don't know of any sport where you get two kinds of.
Yeah.
Racing.
Wrestling. Wrestling's either legit or it's. I hate using the word fake.
Yeah, but racing is always, the fastest wins. It's not like a totally different, presentation of the sport itself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but at least it's always, you hope. I mean, we know it does happen, but you hope when you see 12 racing cars or 40 racing cars at NASCAR, you hope they're all trying to win. Where with wrestling, before they go out, they're told, you win tonight, you win tonight, you win tonight. It's all fake.
And we don't want to get started into boxing, because that's had a long history of being fixed.
Yeah.
Well, let's move along, and let's get on to the the final segment of our show, which is, I guess Dolph Ziggler has received yet another concussion for this year, which, well, I guess it's the new year, so I guess it's this year. The Wrestling Observer reports that Dolph Ziggler suffered a concussion during this WWE Superstars in his match with Ryback. It's believed the concussion came an overly stiff clothesline. He'll be out of action until he can pass the testings. So
that's all to give Ryback a push, because Ryback's just been a joke over the last month or two.
Yeah,
month or two.
Yeah.
That year, about 6 months.
Why take Ziggler out of action for?
Well, to be perfectly honest, we've had this discussion before. What is Ziggler doing anyway these days, apart from jobbing a lot and being a mid-carder? Is it any big loss that he's actually gone off TV for a while? I mentioned it months and months ago, and I'm sorry, that guy's card's numbered.
It's a shame, because I really did like Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, I mean, we've all
They're
agreed
probably giving him
that
time off so he can get that pink dye out of his hair.
Yeah,
we all agreed that they pushed the guy to the top, and he fell off the cliff, and he hasn't climbed back up. He's lay on the beach. He's just...
Yeah.
It's like they did the same with The Miz. Fortunately, The Miz seems to be coming back, but with Dolph Ziggler, they pushed him as far as they could push him and said, right, keep going up, and the guy decided to jump off the cliff and not go any higher. I think they've just lost all faith in the guy, and it's their way of saying to him legitimately, well, pretend you've got a concussion, we'll keep you off TV for a while, and then it's, sorry, we have nothing for you anymore. That's what WWE, that's what they do, unfortunately. Keep them on the sick list for a couple of months. I mean, the thing is, I've never suffered a concussion, but I've got a friend who's had a concussion. A concussion is something you never get over. When they keep saying he's recovered from a concussion, you don't get over a concussion. A concussion is a severe impact to the brain which causes brain damage. When you've got brain damage, it's not repairable. So when they keep saying he's recovered from his concussion. You've got to be the only person in the world that's ever got over brain damage. What sort of test can the WWW... What sort of test, apart from a brain scan, which they haven't even got the facilities for, has he got to pass? Has he got to go like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, pi? There's something wrong with him.
He's froze up.
Yeah, I think they have a little bit better facilities than that, but I think once he passes whatever their testings, he gets past medical, he gets a medical clearance, then he's back to wrestling.
Yeah, because basically it's like a bleed on the brain, and you just, once you've got a bleed on the brain, you're damaged for life. It doesn't go away. It's like people who have heart attacks. If they've got a blood clot and they have a heart attack, they've still had an heart attack. Even if they can take the blood clot away, they've still got a weakened heart. So if you've got a concussion, you've got one for life. It will always show on a brain scan. Never goes away.
No.
The effects of what the brain damage has done, from what I can gather, you'll learn to deal with. So let's say you've had a concussion and you get a numbness of the hand, you'll learn to probably use your other hand because that one is giving you grief. Like if you've ever broke your wrist, it's never as strong as it was originally, so you tend to not use your wrist if you can use your other hand or whatever. It's always a weakness. It always will be. Any break of any bone is always a weakness. Oh, another thing before we go. Did anyone notice how old Scotty Too Hotty looked?
Yeah, he
looked really old.
Yeah, he did. He looked up there, and
Nice to see him back, and nice to see he could do the worm, although he did look a bit like the dying maggot. But
yeah, it was more like the dying maggot. But yeah, I have to agree with you. Yeah.
And I did notice, well, I didn't, but my girlfriend did. She commented to me. She says, "I never noticed that before until just now. I know where the Hardys got their trousers from."
Yeah.
Look at Scotty Too Hotty's trousers and Grandmaster Sexy's, and look at the Hardy Boys. Blatant rip-off. Let's wear a pair of baggy jeans with the Hardy Boys down our legs. Let's look a bit Scotty Too Hotty, shall we? That's a blatant rip-off.
Yeah. Do you think the Hardys are going to come back to WWE, or you think they're going to stay out in the Indies? Real quick.
To be perfectly honest, I don't think the Hardys are going anywhere apart from down a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Both of them.
I have to agree.
Jeff Hardy's taken too many pills. Matt Hardy has just been that much of a knob on the internet. I don't even think that he's a loose cannon. I don't think the WWE had put up with his bullshit. He's a guy who's not to be trusted. I saw a video the other day. It's on the WWE website. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called Bite This, BYTE This, with Lita. And Matt Hardy rings up Lita on their Bite This show and starts disrespecting the show and disrespecting her because it happened when her and Edge started having that fling. And that was just, to me, that just marked his card.
Wow.
If you've not seen it, go on the WWE website. It's on there. It's entitled Bite This. You'll see the picture of Lita being interviewed by, I think it's Josh Matthews, and he rings up, and it's a 20-minute rant of him basically slagging her and Adam Copeland, as he keeps calling him, and says he's going to sort them out. He's got a sharpened bullet for them. And I'm thinking, you're just a ball end. You are a complete ball end. You don't do that you don't shit on the WWE. You don't shit on the hand that feeds you. Ever.
Yeah.
But this was from way back when.
2007, was it, or something?
No.
2007's not way back. That's
no,
2007.
That wasn't then. It was like 2005.
It's when Lita was having the affair with Edge.
Like somewhere or maybe early to mid 2000s.
Well, that's when he marked his card. You just don't. You don't ring up a company that pays your wage, disrespecting the company and saying on air, and it's there. Go and watch it. It's an interesting interview. He says, "I didn't even know this happened until I saw that interview." But he says, "Why the F was I fired?" when Adam is the one who did the wrong. I didn't know he got fired because of the shit that was going on in the locker room between him and Edge. I just thought he left. I didn't realise he was fired. He even tells the story that Vince got, I can't think of his name, the hire and fire guy who used to be on, but he's not on anymore, Johnny Ace. Vince got Johnny Ace do his effing dirty work and fired me over the phone. It's all on the interview. I didn't realise he got fired. I just thought he went.
Wow, that's unreal.
You just... We've all seen wrestlers that have done it on shoot interviews. They've never actually done it in front of Vince's... Well, on Vince's TV show. There are things that you should and shouldn't do, and I'm sorry, that's one of them. You don't go on your ex-boss's TV show and disrespect him on his own show. It's just not done.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Well, I think we're going to wrap that up here, and we're going to call that another show. And we want to thank everyone here for listening, and we hope that you all like and subscribe to the show. And anyone who wants to comment, please make sure you'll fill your comment section in the section below. Andy, where can everyone find you at?
You can find me at www.stokehaunted.com, or if you want to send me an email, it's andydoesn'tgiveashit@yahoo.co.uk.
All right, Lance, why don't you tell everyone where they can find Lance Moss TV?
On youtube.com/Lance Moss TV, I do album reviews, NASCAR reviews, cooking videos, Q&As, whatever else pops in my head.
All right. James, thanks for coming in. Why don't you tell what you got going on WGS TV and on HWR?
If you don't want to pay $9.99 a month for WWE Network that gives you all the pay-per-views, you can follow us on the WGS TV Facebook page and the Hardcore Wrestling Radio Facebook page. I do the Diva of the Week for the HWR page, and I will put up news like how I did earlier today with the breaking news of Kaitlyn being decided to leave WWE.
And of course, Will, why don't you tell everyone what you got going on the Hardcore Wrestling Radio page as well as WGS TV?
You know what we do. We give out all these beautiful articles to the real wrestling fans that deserve it, you know. And tomorrow I'll have your HWR Face and Heel of the Week. Stay tuned for that. And, of course, hit up our boy Billy Bujo, a.k.a. the Wrestle Gamer, at his Facebook page at WGS TV. And for all his reviews, go to his YouTube page at the Wrestle Gamer.
Alright, make sure you guys all do that. And if you want to check us out our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestle Radio. And anytime you want to listen to any of our shows, head on over to youtube.com/HWR Show. So for everyone here, I'm the Shining Star, Rick Starr, saying we'll see you when we see you. Thank you for listening to this edition of Hardcore Wrestling Radio. Be sure to follow us on our pages, facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio and Spreaker.com/HWR Media, and also on youtube.com/HWR Show. Until the next time, this is Rick Starr saying see you when we see you.